Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video on Arete Academy. So till now we have discussed about ethics, we have discussed about values, we have discussed about morals, we have understood the differences, we have understood the nuances, we have understood that how we use it in a common sense, how in layman language we think that ethics, morals and values are the same. But yes, when it is moral values, then it has a different meaning. When it is ethics, it has a different meaning, right? So everything is different. We have understood with a lot of examples. We have understood different aspects of it. We have understood the essence of ethics, right? How ethics from laws, ethics from science, ethics from religion and philosophy is derived. And that has set the tone for the further discussion. But before we proceed, I want all of you to understand this aspect as well, that when we read the current affairs, we often come across many examples which we should not miss. So in today's class, we are going to discuss such examples which are related to the concepts which we have studied till now. We will understand that how values are used in day-to-day languages or in different aspects of life. We will understand how morals are used. What is the meaning of moral? Moral in different context. We will understand the different application aspect of ethics. So today, before we discuss the different dimensions of ethics, where we will read about the branches or other aspects of ethics, first I want all of you to understand that whenever you are coming across the newspaper, the current affairs, then what kind of eye you should have. Because whatever we are discussing till now, definitely I'm empowering you with a lot of examples and keywords and the concepts. But after this class as well, you should have that lens, you should have that maturity that if you are coming across any keywords, it should be there in your list. And you should also know how to apply it, right? So let's start this journey of understanding the current affairs in our day-to-day life and how ethics is there, values are there, and morals are there everywhere. We will start with this particular article, which you must have come across recently. This BRICS 2024 summit has been concluded. And in this summit, let's read this article. This is saying India values close cooperation within BRICS, says PM Modi as he departs from Russia. So what he is saying, that India values close relation. Values, we have understood that value is the degree of importance which we give to any particular thing. Now here is saying that Modi is expected to hold bilateral meetings with several of his counterparts from BRICS member and leaders invited to Kazan. That is what development. When you will further read this article, you will find this paragraph. India values close cooperation within BRICS and has emerged as a platform for dialogue. So these keywords are important: dialogue, discussion on issues concerning the global developmental agenda, reformed multilateralism, climate change, economic cooperation, building resilient supply chain, promoting culture and people-to-people connect, among others. So basically, what we are trying to understand here is that when we talk about BRICS, when we talk about any international forum, then we should understand that what kind of values are prioritized there, or what kind of values are the agenda of that particular forum. For example, India is saying that we value BRICS as a unit, and here our focus, we are giving importance to global developmental agenda, we are giving importance to reform multilateralism, climate change, economic cooperation, building resilient supply, promoting culture, people-to-people contact. When you read this article, you get to know that, okay, this is what India is giving value to. India is giving importance on this forum. India is giving importance to such things. When it will be another forum, then you have to develop this eye, you have to develop this maturity, that what is India's focus there? When we talk about India's focus, India's value, how and to what aspects India is giving importance to. Understood? This is the application aspect. So whenever you will write, okay, India values this. For India, the core values at this particular forum are like this. Or whenever India is associated in regional forums or groupings, India values these things. So these are also keywords. Definitely these keywords are coming from your international relation. These keywords are coming from your knowledge of GS day to day, whatever you are reading in GS, other subjects, GS1, GS2, GS3. That what is happening, what are the problems, what are the challenges at global level. But when we see it from the lens of values, this is how we can conclude. This is how we can club everything. Another aspect, what was the theme? BRICS Summit, 16th BRICS Summit. So sometimes you will also get a question in prelims as well, that 16th BRICS Summit was themed around what? So this theme highlights the value. was themed around strengthening the multilateralism for just global development and security. This is the keyword here. That is the value. Just global development and security. We should not only focus on the development, we should not only focus on the security, we have to focus on just. Whether that is right or wrong, whether it is justified or wrong. Climate justice. India is talking about climate justice. India is not only talking about climate change. India is not only talking about that, okay, give us the funds. India is not talking only about the developed or developing countries. India is talking about CBDR, RC, respective capabilities. India is talking about climate justice. So when such concepts are coming into picture, justice, that is the value system. Are you understanding? So values are everywhere. It is just we need to have that an eye to identify it. Next, an ambitious push for values, ethics in higher education. Now we are talking about ethics and values in higher education. What is it? Let's understand. Unless there are sincere efforts to ensure that provisions of Mulya Pravah 2.0 takes effect, the UGC's move to be more formality. Until we talk about that, how effective it is, till then UGC's this move will be just formality. But what is it? Let's understand that. So here, UGC has been issuing regulations, guidelines, and directives in our ethics paper as well, when we will read about rules, regulation, laws. So many times you also get confused that what are these? In fact, in the first class itself, Kaushal has asked about this. Sir, what is the difference between rules, regulations, laws, acts, right? So similarly, see here, issuing regulations, guidelines, and directives for what purpose? At the breakneck speed that some of the important ones miss, drawing the attention of the higher education community. But what? One such guideline is Mulya Pravah 2.0. What is it? It is a modified version of Mulya Pravah, which was notified in 2019. It is also a prelims question. What is the importance of it? It seeks to inculcate human values. This is what you have to focus upon in ethics class. To inculcate human values and professional ethics in higher educational institutions, right? So such steps are being taken and such initiatives are being taken to inculcate values. You remember before this we had discussed, can morals be inculcated? Can values be inculcated? Yes, it can be inculcated, and this is how we are inculcating it, right? What is the intention of it? The intention is to build value-based institution, value-based learning, value-based education system, by orienting individual and institution towards developing a deep respect for what? Deep respect for fundamental duties and constitutional values and bonding with the country. Are you understanding? This is the next agenda. Are you understanding that how we have to read it and how integrated the values are? We have constitutional values, we have fundamental duties, we have values or bonding at social level. We are social animals, so we have bonding with the community. So all these things has to be inculcated, and that is the agenda of the Mulya Pravah 2.0, the UGC guideline, inculcation of values, right? So this is how we have to enrich our content from the current affairs. Next, we should also read. When we are reading the same article, we should not only stop what is this initiative all about, why we are talking about inculcation and what is the agenda. We should not only know the information till there. We should have a deeper information, deeper understanding that why we are talking about Mulya Pravah. So here, let's read the next paragraph. The trigger is the findings of a survey of human resource managers. Why we are talking about Mulya Pravah 2? Because there was some trigger point and it was on the basis of survey. What the survey highlighted? The survey highlighted the unethical practices in the various organizations. And what are those unethical practices? The most important of these are favoritism in hiring, in training, pay and promotion, sexual harassment, gender discrimination in promotions, then inconsistent view on discipline, lack of confidentiality, gender differentiation in compensation, non-performance factors overlooked in appraisals, then arrangements with the vendors for personal gain, and gender discrimination during recruitment and hiring. Are you understanding that why we are talking about value inculcation in the higher educational institution? It is not only for the kids. It's not only for the children who are studying. It's not only for those students. It is also to manage these dimensions which are there. Human resource, the problems which has been highlighted in the human resource, and trust me, whatever we have discussed, these are your dimensions which can enrich your answers. If you just write, or if you can just collate the points from here, the problems in higher education, don't you think that your answers will be very different, very unique, and it will have much more deeper analysis and depth? So this is how you have to integrate. These are the root cause, and because of this, we need to inculcate values in the higher educational organization. In those institutions, we need to inculcate, and that is the purpose of the Mulya Prava 2.0, right? So that is the purpose of Mulya Prava. Now, each and every dimension which is mentioned here should be the keyword which you can use in your answers. Okay. Next, public comments on PM CGI Puja meet are based on 1997 document on judicial values adopted by Supreme Court. The document recommended a judge to practice a degree of aloofness consistent with the dignity of his office. Recently, you must have come across this video where Honorable Prime Minister was there at CGI's home during Ganpati Puja. Now, people are making it issue that no, it has diluted the separation of power, it has diluted the ethics, it has diluted the judicial ethics, judicial values has been compromised, and this should not be done. And till date, no CGI has invited Prime Minister, so they need to maintain a distance. So many debates are going on. Then some people are saying, no, it is matter of personal practice, it is about religion, it's not about the office, it's not about... Such debates are going on. But here there was one article which is talking about judicial values, and what judicial values they have identified or they have highlighted is a degree of aloofness consistent with the dignity of his office. That CGI has to maintain, or any office for that matter, need to maintain certain dignity. And if we have to maintain that dignity, then what do we need to practice? We need to practice a degree of aloofness. For example, there was a debate few months back as well. There was a meeting between Honorable Prime Minister and the Chief Election Commissioner. That was also said, no, it should not be allowed and it should not be done. It was not just, it was against the dignity of the office. So are you understanding how to use these keywords in your day-to-day life, or how to use it in your answers, how to use it in the analysis? And that is how you can shorten your answers. When you take too many words to write one analysis, one paragraph, you can shorten it. You can make it crisp by using the right keywords. So this particular article highlighted about certain things. The document is based on the principle that people should be assured that justice is done and seen to be done. You remember principle we have discussed with respect to the morals. Morals are the principles of right and wrong, a sense of right and wrong. So this document or the values, judicial values, are based on the principle. What is the principle? It is based on this principle that people should be assured that justice is being done and it is seen to be done. That's why you need to maintain the dignity of the office, dignity of the authority, the power you are holding. So here it is saying that the established practices of judicial conduct place an emphasis on maintaining public confidence through probity in the interaction between the high constitutional functionaries. So why are we analyzing it? We are analyzing because the judicial conduct of inviting the CGI, inviting the Prime Minister, is against it might dilute the public confidence. It is saying that whatever actions or the way the constitutional functionaries, the Prime Minister, the President, the CGI, or the Governor for that matter, Chief Minister, all the constitutional functionaries, how they are interacting with each other will either boost confidence in the public that, okay, they are our representatives, or these are the constitutional functionaries, they will do justice, or whatever responsibilities they have been given, they will definitely do justice with it. So it is saying that the judicial conduct, you remember ethics? When we talk about ethics, we talk about conduct, behavior. So the judicial conduct should be in such a manner that it helps in maintaining public confidence through probity. We will read about probity in detail. Probity is basically, in short, if I tell you, non-corruptibility at your workplace. In the interaction between high constitutional functionaries, are you understanding how the keywords are being used? how the analysis is being done. And precisely this is how you have to utilize the concepts, the examples in your answers. So now you will not struggle with the keywords, right? Ethical jargons. So here we have learned about the judicial values. We have learned about the judicial conduct. Further, the analysis is saying some history is there that CGI, M.N. Venkatachalaya was there and PM Narasimha Rao was there. And the relationship between judiciary and executive has to be correct. When we talk about correct, when we talk about right and wrong, it is about morals, it is about ethics. It is saying it has to be correct, not cordial, not cordiality between the court and government has no place in our constitutional scheme of checks and balances. Why we are talking about such judicial values? Why we are talking about right conduct? Why we are talking about the right conduct at the constitutional functionaries level? Why? Because it is saying that we have a system of checks and balance. That is our constitutional value. That is our democratic value. And when we are talking about such checks and balances, we cannot expect cordiality because one is checking the other. Now, we have another topic, ethics in private relation or ethics in private space, private ethics and public ethics. So there we will read what we do at one place will be reflected at other places. So why people are criticizing this act, that maybe if you are very cordial at personal space, when you have to put checks and balances, how will you do that? Will you not give favors? And when you are sharing very good relationship in the personal bond, in the personal space, the bond is very strong. Do you think in the public places I will criticize? Do you think in the public places I will put checks and balances? That's why people are criticizing it. And in the past, we have a history and we have a code, a convention, not legally enforceable. Convention is there that the system, the relationship between the judiciary and executive is of checks and balance. So no cordiality is expected. There should be no cordiality and there is no space of cordial relation between the judiciary and executive in our constitutional scheme. The judiciary, which holds the responsibility of safeguarding the constitution and ensuring justice without fear or favor, must be seen entirely independent from the executive branch. These are the keywords which you have to play, which you have to throw, which you have to sprinkle in your answers. What are these keywords? Justice without fear and favor. Responsibility of safeguarding the constitutional duty, constitutional responsibilities. Right? So this way you have to utilize. Are you understanding? Now, if you analyze the same act or the whatever discussion is going on or whatever debate is going on, if you analyze it with the lens of values, morals, ethics, constitutional values, democratic values, or the values or the dignity of the office, now do you have a better understanding? Definitely when we read it from GS2 point of view, we will understand it. But here our objective is to understand the same act using the different keywords and values, morals, ethics, whatever we have discussed till now. Making sense, guys? Next, we have another example. Former Lokayukta N. Santosh Hegde asked youth to strive to restore democratic values. He is talking, and all these articles are recent one. This is mostly October, September, August, you will find them. He is saying that youth should strive to restore democratic values. When we are talking about democratic values, you remember the first day itself, the first day of the class, I gave you one question that we are celebrating Amrit Kal. We are celebrating nation first, always first. Then what are the values which we have learned from our freedom struggle? Similarly, we are democratic countries. What are our democratic values? And why Mr. Santosh Hegde, who was the former Lokayukta of Karnataka, why he is asking us to follow or strive for democratic values? When you will further read this article, you will find certain things which will help you to understand that how to use such keywords or what are the democratic values. And this is how you build up your list of keywords. And this is how you are able to correlate that, okay, which example is suitable for which kind of keyword. So in this article, you will find that why in the first place he's talking about it. Why we are talking about the democratic values or the inculcation of democratic values. Because as I have already told you, in ethics, we have cause and effect relationship. So there is a cause. What is the cause? The cause why he is highlighting is the erosion of values. The former Lokayukta said that greed, abuse of political power is one of the reasons. The society has stopped boycotting wrongdoers. We have accepted it. We have accepted the corruption. Now corruption is part and parcel. We believe that if we will not participate in corruption, our work will not get done. So we have accepted as part and parcel of our life. Wealthy and politically influential people are doing good. So he is saying that you should inculcate values of contentment and compassion. Again, values, what we give importance to. If we have compassion, if we have contentment, then there will be no greed. If we have compassion, then abuse of power will not happen. Are you understanding? And that's why we talk about value inculcation right at the tender age. You remember we had discussed one thought to ponder where we discussed, can ethics or can morals be inculcated at the tender age? Yes. Why he's talking or he's asking you to strive for such democratic values? Because if we don't strive for such democratic values, then we will become part of this system where corruption is there, abuse of power is there, and already we are living in a world where materialism is there, individualism is there, and we are running after materialistic needs. Means it is all guided by our greed. And if we are greedy, abuse of power will also happen, erosion of values will also happen, and we will misuse the power, we will misuse the authority, and then, you know, all the social evils which we talk about will be always there. It will not only be there, it will flourish. So we need to put a check. And for that, we need to have inculcation of right values in right age, at right places. Okay. Then he is further talking about that there is also erosion of values in executive. When we read such articles, it will give a conceptual clarity about whole syllabus. Erosion of values. And this is how another way you can use the values that we have seen: erosion of ethics, erosion of values. So erosion of values in executive, which is not functioning independently nowadays. Their actions are influenced by ruling party. So yes, ruling party is different, executive is different, legislature is different. That much conceptual clarity we all have. So they are guided by the ruling party representatives as official fair transfer. And here, when we are talking about executive, there are two types of executive. One is political executive, and then the executive, the civil servant, the bureaucrats. They have fear of transfer. At that time, we need to have courage. Jo bhi hone do, come what may, I will not yield to the pressure. And that's why we know Ashok Khemka. He's popular for his transfers, right? The police recently filed charges against the KPSC officials for accepting money for posting to different posts. You have live example. So if you're talking about erosion of values or the corruption or anything, this example is suitable. That in during the exam for the post of sub-inspector in Karnataka, 45 lakhs rupees was demanded for the transfers and the postings, a suitable transfers and posting. That is an example of how erosion of values are happening, how the corruption is there, how executives, they have submitted themselves to the ruling parties. Now, if you are dependent upon any particular party or the ruling party for the transfers and postings, do you think you will take any action against them? Definitely not. Then this is called unholy nexus. This is how you have to use the keywords. This is called unholy nexus. This is called politicization of bureaucracy. Politicization of bureaucracy. And that is how everything gets compromised. And then how you will be able to put checks and balances, and how we will be able to do justice. How we will be able to fulfill the constitutional values. How we will be able to fulfill the democratic values. Because every time we are compromising. Now, when we have compromised this and we have paid 45 lakhs rupees for our transfers and posting the sub-inspector, now do you think I will be able to fulfill my constitutional responsibilities? Then I will do something else. At that seat, I will be doing something else so that I can recover this amount. My purpose will be that. He has also highlighted about judiciary. Talking about judiciary, Mr. Hegde said that a case now takes on an average 15 years to get settled. Delay, judicial delays, we talk about judicial delays. So it is not only getting delayed, it is justice is being denied. In cases related to corruption, filed under the Prevention of Corruption Act, only 27% of the accused get convicted only after 30 years of the institutions of the case. Now, if somebody has done some harm and some corruption has taken place, and if I am filing the case now, and just after 30 years if the case is getting settled, what will be my age? What will be the age of that person who is involved in that? Maybe that person would be alive or not. I also don't know. We also don't know. Now, if that is the case, what is the importance of the judicial system, what is the value of the judicial system, or for that matter, like uska purpose hi nahi solve hoga. If we have judicial system to take care all these things, then it is not fulfilling its duties, responsibilities if such delays are there. And when you read such articles, you are directly getting lot of examples, case studies, data to substantiate your observations. So you should take note of such things whenever you are coming across articles, news articles, and the current affairs. You should take note of these things, right? Definitely I will give, and in our current affairs classes we give time to time, but here you have to keep in mind that when you are coming across, then what kind of empowerment you need to have. Okay, talking about next, this article says, with roots in India, yoga unites people with its values of balance, mindfulness, and peace. This has been highlighted by United Nations chief. The UN chief is saying that yoga is uniting people. And what are the core values? Core values are balance, mindfulness, and peace. And this was his message on the 10th International Yoga Day, June 21st, June 2024. Okay. He has urged people to be inspired by the ancient practices, timeless values, moral relativism, moral absolutism, universal values. What is he saying? Ancient practices, timeless values. Certain values, they change over time, they change over space. Certain morals are contextual in nature. I have discussed about the Asur tribes. We have discussed that how certain values, certain morals will be different in the in societies in US, in India, in China, in Japan. So they are contextual. They are custom based also. So, but there are certain values which are timeless, which are universal. And he calls for more peaceful and harmonious future. Peace, harmony, love, brotherhood. We have already discussed that how these values are universal in nature. Now you are able to correlate. And now you are able to correlate that how you should use it in your day-to-day life or in your surrounding. Whenever we are celebrating International Yoga Day, it is not only about yoga. It's not only about our past practices or our ancient practice. It is also about these things. This is how you have to correlate. And when you are solving a case study, you can definitely talk about this statement that on International Yoga Day in 2024, UN chief also highlighted about this. This is how we can bring yoga into practice, or how yoga can be inculcated, yogic practices or yoga training can be given to resolve these problems, and it will bring balance, mindfulness, and peace. Can't we use that? Yes, but we need to empower ourselves first, that how to use, where to use. Now, whenever you are coming across any case studies, example, or data, or the keyword which we provide you or you come across, you should not only take a note of it, you should also think how to use, where to use, in what kind of cases I can use. Okay, I have to use it in GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, and learn this art of using one example at multiple places. You cannot have the different examples for all different things. One example sufficient, I will use at different places. Making sense? This you can use in culture. This you can definitely, we are talking from ethics point of view, values point of view, you can use there. This we can talk about whenever we are talking about mental health problems, mental health related issues. This you can use in international relation, that how such cultural integration can also help to resolve the problems. Are you understanding? The art of using the one thing at different places, but that will not come in a day or two. You need to invest time, you need to brainstorm. Then you will be able to hone this art. You also come across such articles. Seasonal change can affect people's mood and their moral values. Changes in season can lead to changes in the things that people think, feel, and do. So this was the article. Some research was going on, so they have highlighted. Basically, I have kept to show you that how moral values also keeps on changing. It's not that what we believe today, we will believe in that tomorrow as well. Based on our experiences, based on our exposures, it might change. And this was the purpose of this particular research. Okay, I don't see much utilization of this particular idea that how season affects people's mind in the answers. I don't see it, but I just wanted to discuss with you that, yeah, such research is also going on. Sometimes you also see yourself that based on your season, based on your changes in the weather or whatever is happening in your surrounding, your core value system or core values will also change. Sometimes you just want to be selfish. Sometimes you just want to be alone. You don't want to be social, isn't it? Sometimes you know everything, that fitness is this, fitness is that, but still you want to have cheat days. But when you read such articles, I don't see the utility of such in our answers, but when you read such articles, you will come across certain statements which will enrich or which will substantiate your learning, or which will give vetting to your learning. Whatever we have learned about morals, values, ethics, it will be vetted in this article when we read it. See, what is it? Moral values. We have read about moral values. So moral values are what? Are the principles that guide a person's perception of good and bad and right and wrong. This is what we have read. Okay, it means whatever we have read is right. It means that, yeah, this is some universal definition. This means that whenever we are introducing our answers, this is how we should introduce. Now, the article was on seasonal changes, but is it starting from season? No, it is starting from moral values. That is how we need to introduce. And that's why reading articles, the newspaper articles, they help you in essay, they help you in how to weave our idea, your answer writing, ethics, or be it any answer writing, how to weave the idea. It has to be contextual. Now they are saying that they shape our moral values. They shape our prejudices, political ideologies, and other consequential attitude and action. Means that moral values, they are reflected everywhere, because the way we are having any idea, prejudice that Muslims are like this, Hindus are like this, okay, people from lower communities, Dalits are like this, okay, US people are like this. So when we are guided by certain prejudices, that prejudice will guide our behavior, our actions. Right? So what is it saying? That moral values, they shape our prejudice, they shape our political ideology. Congress is like this, BJP is like this, regional parties are like this, Mayawati party is like this. So our political ideology will be shaped, guided by our moral values, that what we believe and what we give importance to, and many other such consequential attitudes and action. So this I had kept to showcase this one. Next, P. Chidambaram writes, constitutional morality is at stake. Another way of using morality. We have already discussed it in keywords when we were discussing about the keywords in the morals. Constitutional morality is at stake. And he has highlighted that the cases against chief ministers are that they received bribes in order to do the favors to the bribe givers. He is directly saying that it has been seen in many states, it has been observed that chief ministers are taking bribes and they are giving favors to bribe givers. It is direct compromise with the constitutional values. So he has used it, the word he has used is constitutional morality is at stake, because the constitutional functionaries, the chief minister, if he himself is directly involved in such things, any, for that matter, any executive or any functionary, if they are involved, and if corruption is there, constitutional morality is at stake. But he has taken to highlight the gravity of the problem by highlighting the issue of this, that chief ministers are involved in this. And if such things are at stake, it means our constitutional morality is at stake, our constitutional values are getting compromised. Now the question would be how to inculcate or how to put a check on this. Are you understanding? So this is how we come across keywords often, and this is how we should use it. This is a very important article and very important example from the current affairs. What is it saying? Formalized gender apartheid, what Taliban's new morality law means for Afghan women. So now we know that in Saudi Arabia or in Islamic countries, we have moral policing. So it is talking about morality law. And this morality law, if we analyze from our context, we will find it really absurd, bakwas, because we are analyzing it from our lens, moral relativism. Yes, however, there are certain universal morals as well, universal values as well. We have read it in moral absolutism that there are certain universal rights. So with respect to women, whatever they have analyzed or they have brought, we will not accept it. Even though moral relativism is there, but there are certain moral absolute values as well. So what they have done, they have a ministry of propagation of virtues, prevention of vice, and hearing complaints. So virtue, we know, it talks about the character, certain good practices which we should follow, that those are virtues. Prevention of vice, vice means negatives or wrong practices which should not be there. So prevention and hearing complaints. So there is a ministry of that. So this ministry has published 144-page code, moral code, morality law. And this has brought many things. I will talk in detail, but briefly it is saying that women's voice is deemed to intimate and should not be heard singing, reciting and reading aloud in public. So women's voice, they are like, मतलब बड़ी मधुर आवाज होती है, वो लोगों को इंटिमेट कर सकती है. So they should not sing, they should not recite, they should not read aloud in public. It means you are not allowed to speak or you are not allowed to do these things in public. And reason what they have given, the reason they are saying that women's voice is deemed intimate. Now, if we analyze this, we will say what bakwas. And definitely we know that what Taliban is doing and it is not justified, and that government or governance whatsoever is not based on the democratic principles. We have seen that transition in Afghanistan polity. Earlier, some democratic government was there, elected government was there. Now we have seen that transition and it is a forced rule. So they are bringing what they believe in, what they give importance to. So they are saying all these bakwas. So this Ministry of Propagation, Prevention of Vice and Hearing Complaints, they have published this code. And since Taliban came into power in August 2021. So what they are saying that it is mandatory for a woman to veil her entire body at all times in public and deems a face covering as essential to avoid temptation and tempting others. Wow. You need to cover the face because if you will not cover the face, you will tempt others. They are saying to avoid temptation and tempting others. If we have to bring a law, if we have to bring some code, we should bring code for those who are getting tempted. They are saying no, because of you they are getting tempted. You cover your face, you cover your body at all times in public places. There is no code for those who are getting tempted. Moral subjectivism. Are you understanding? According to this, they are saying that the playing of music and mixing of women and men who not related are banned. Means men and women who are not related should not mix with each other. Women and men are forbidden from even looking at each other. If they are not related by blood or marriage, you should not look at each other. And it also says that the code requires men not to wear shorts above knee or closely trim their beards, and other provisions in the code sanction the persecution of LGBTQ people and religious minorities as well. So this is their morality code, morality law, where they are talking about all these things, which are definitely, if we analyze from our democratic value system and the universal values which United Nations human rights is there. So if we analyze from that point of view, then definitely these are absurd. We will never give sanctions to such things. We will never support such things, right? So the idea here is that such laws are there in our neighboring countries itself. But we are helpless. We cannot do it. We cannot do anything for that matter. But this is how the article was talking about gender apartheid, right? For your understanding that how to use, this is how you can use the context. And the last one in today's class, the last one is a thought to ponder for you, is a thought experiment for you. And it is talking about the moral conundrum. Now see how the word moral has been used. Moral conundrum. Conundrum means a kind of confusion, dilemma, situation. After killing a mosquito, how many of you have felt, after killing mosquito, how many of you felt bad? No, none of you. How many of you felt bad after killing an ant or cockroach? But you feel bad when you kill hen, chicken, cow, dog, man. Yes. So this article is talking about the moral conundrum after killing a mosquito and the questions about our society and the government. So the power, the size or the greater purpose, does anything justify violence? Meta ethics. And that is how we will enter into the next domain of dimensions of ethics. Is violence justified? Does your power, your size and your authority or the greater purpose justifies that? If that is the case, then Britishers were on the civilization mission. Whites man burdened to civilize the world. Then why did we fight for our freedom? Question. Moral conundrum. Dilemmas. This is a thought experiment, right? So you let me know your views on this. So this is all in today's class. With respect to the current affairs, examples, how we should extract, how we should use the keywords. This is how we should read the articles and extract the information, not only the values, but we should also substantiate, use the data, case studies, the examples to substantiate our observation, to substantiate our arguments. right? And if you will empower yourself this way, then definitely your answers will be different from the others. And then you will not struggle with respect to the keywords or examples or enriching your answers with different dimensions.